Hi there, I've got a beautiful dove as a symbol of peace at Christmas time for today's card. And we're going to show you how to make it look like it's flying. The dies we'll be using are the Austrian collection corner border and tag, so you don't always have to use just Christmas dies for your cards. And then I have the Dove of Peace from the Festive collection. That'll be our main focal element. And in the background, we're going to be using the Frosty Swirls A4 embossing folder. And I'm also going to do a little bit of glittering, and this is the diamond sprinkles from our Cosmic Shimmer range. Okay, now one of the other things I want to show you is you can use other items, and I have these metal corners. I'm going to just add a little bit of detail to the edge of my card by embossing them. So it's not only embossing folders or dies that will emboss, you can use other items to get just a nice little extra little embellishment onto your cards. So I've taped these into place. I'm going to bring over my base plate. I'm going to turn them upside down. Put the tan mat over the top and the pink embossing plate, and we're going to run it through our grand caliber. These corners are great because you can use them as is and add them onto your card, or you can even paint them and decorate them and put them on, or like I'm doing here, use them to emboss. Okay. Now they're quite thin, so it's not a huge level of embossing you get from these, but it is quite pretty. Get that off of there, and they can obviously be used for another occasion. Take off my tape. There we go. And it's kind of up to you which side you use. I like to see this side here. Get that off of there. Little piece of something sticky on there. But if you can see, I've got just a really nice little emboss that comes in there. Just an added extra little bonus. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that into place. I've got some mounting foam to raise it up. And it's going to just sit in between my pierced frame there. Okay. That looks good. Okay, so that's sorted right there. Now the next thing is I've gone ahead and I've cut 8 of these Austrian corners. Now with just a little bit of spray glue, let me show you how we do it. A little bit of spray glue. I'm just going to grab the edge of that and give it a light dusting. Bring over a piece of copy paper. And we're going to just sprinkle it with our diamond sprinkles here so you can really get a pretty look to these. And we'll put all the rest of that back into our container. There we go. Use it for another time. So you can see how you can just really add a little bit of Christmas shine to that very, very simply. So I've gone ahead and cut 8 of them, and I've glued them into all the corners. So I'm going to go ahead and put this into place. Got some mounting foam on the back of this. There we go. Pop that right into the center so you can just see a little bit of that embossed corner sticking out. Just kind of peeks out from underneath there. And this one I'm going to set on the diagonal. So it's a bit different orientation on that. Get that nice and centered. That looks pretty good. Like that. So there's the base of our card. That's all sorted. Now, going forward from there, what I've done is I've cut the outside of my peaking snowflake in white, and we're going to do some embossing on that one. So bring over our Frosty Swirls, pop that into place, and our raspberry mat on top. Give it a quick run through. Now, if you find for any reason that that sandwich is very tight going through your machine, you can always take this one away and use your pink embossing plate. It's a tiny bit thinner. All machines are different, so don't force your machine at all. So here is my embossed background. And you can see the embossing on that's absolutely beautiful and crisp. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've cut a frame using that peaking Snowflake out of silver, and I've got a piece of acetate that I've sandwiched in between some mounting foam. So I'm going to just raise it up a tiny bit over my background here. Let me take that off. There we go, and let's see if I can get that centered on there. We might have to do a tiny bit of trimming if I'm off, but oops, get off of there. That looks pretty good. You can take a little more time at home, obviously. In fact, I think I will trim just a little bit of edge there, since I'm not quite centered. There we go. Okay, so now I've got an area where it's framed, but it's got a bit of acetate, so it raises it up. So we'll go ahead and seat that right in the center. I think I'll just use a bit of glue for that. There we go. And then we'll show you what you can do with your dove to make it look like it's flying. There we go. That's beautiful. Okay, so I've cut a silver dove, and this is going to be like my shadow. And I've just cut between the two wings already, so that's going to be our shadow. And I've got 2 of the white ones. Now, I think it's important to use 2 for this because the wings overlap here. If you cut just one of them, there'll be one that looks like it doesn't have an edge. So if you use 2 of them, you can create the illusion of having edges on both of them. So what we're going to do is cut down that one, and that'll be my back wing. And you see what I'm saying about that doesn't have an edge now? So this one is going to be the back wing cut. And this one here, we're going to cut it so that the front wing is full. Okay, so that's the one I'll use on top. All right, so I'm just going to use a little bit of glue here, and we'll shadow up the silver one. Just a tiny bit on there. We'll put this one on first and just slightly offset it. So you've got that hint of a shadow coming through. There we go. And on top of that one, I'm going to put the white one with the front wing that looks cleaner on top of that. Let me put just a couple bits on the back of that. In fact, maybe even a little bit right there. Okay, pop that on. And that can go right on top of the other white one. Center that up nice and straight. Okay, there we go. So now you've got the illusion of 2 wings that look like they're in flight. And that one, you can see the full side of that one there. So we're going to put that into the center of our acetate. A little bit of glue will do the job, and I'm going to leave the wings completely free to look like they're flying. And just put that upward a tiny bit, leaving room for our sentiment. Get that a second to set up. And I've cut 2 of the piece words that come with it. So I've got a white one and a silver one, and I'm just going to do a little offsetting with these 2. So pop a little bit of glue on the back. There we go. That should hold that. Let me get that edge there. And just offset that so you've got a tiny bit of the silver peeking out from behind the white there. There we go. Give it a second to glue. And put a bit on the back of that, and we'll seat that into our frame. There we go. I'm just going to move that glue around a little bit so it's not too thick. Put that right down in the bottom here. How pretty is that? I think that's absolutely gorgeous, and you can embellish all your corners with some pearls, add a little bit of detail, and you have a really elegant Christmas card to give your friends. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I have so many more Christmas videos to show you. I hope you'll check back with us.